Hello everyone! Shout out to everyone who just came here, to MJ Colibra. Shout out to you. Shout out sa'yo, Maria Marcel. Hello my dear sister. I hope everyone is there. And to Apple G. Kumusta ka na? Okay lang naman ako. Ito, kakabalik lang. Kagagaling kasi sa sakit. So ngayon, malakas-lakas na naman ang aking boses. Pwedeng-pwede na ulit pang laban at pang okrayan. Ayan. Shout out to every one of you. And for those of you who are wondering, I am live also in the channel of Young Markelov. For the sake of this Bible study, this weekly study is we just have to get on with some sort of Bible stories for today. So Bible stories muna tayo, wala tayong weekly portion because our weekly portion, I have read it from the last week, and it since last week we have a special para siya last week. So today we're gonna have something to read as well. Ayun, no? Last week po, our topic was about a journey. And the number one topic was this: avoiding the negative, pursuing the positive first. Reading in Numbers 4:21 to 28. And then we had the foundation of everything. We had as well counteracting negativity, and who in their right mind. We had same act, different intentions. And then the number 6 was the Torah, or the commandment, makes the world alive. That's the word of God that makes the world alive. And on the 7th reading was hearing the voice. Okay, so there's a lot of significant things about the last week's Torah. So I just want to welcome you everyone for being here, and I'm so much grateful and thankful for your presence, even though you are busy and you have a lot of different interests. May mga iba kayong mga interest sa buhay, you still have the time to come here and listen to our weekly Bible study. So thank you so much, because you are giving a good invention. What's that? Invention? You are giving a good investment for your life. Okay, so I just want to welcome you friends. All right, so that's a good welcoming for you. I actually changed my welcoming message. I actually like the blue video, actually. Maybe I'll just have to fix my camera as well, because I don't even know where I am looking. I don't understand if I'm gonna go here or I'm gonna go there because of this frame. I actually tried to make this frame. Ginawa ko ang frame na to for the sake of ay, Mami Josephine. Ayan. I actually made this frame because my background over here on this side is kind of huge, and this is the door of my children's. So shout out to you, Mami Josephine. Welcome back again. Sang araw po na ito, we just have a short introduction or short Bible study, because from the last week we had a weekly portion, but this week we didn't had a weekly portion. Guess what? Kasi yung pang-weekly portion natin po, binasa ko last week. Dapat last week wala tayong basahan. Dapat last week itong Bible story na to. So, what I can do for now is to balibaliktad the story na lang. Ano? Ayun. So, I hope that you can even just join me for a while and give me some of your time, like 1 hour or so. Ayan. 1 hour maximum. 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 1 hour. O baka ang 1 hour ninyo dyan is 1 minute. 1 minute tapos bye. Ganun na agad na. Ayan. Pero kahit gaano man kayo katagal magstay dito, I am so much thankful of your presence here. So, shout out to you everyone. Ayan. So, I'm gonna, I don't know. Ayan. I'm so bulol-bulol today. So, you know, everything is balibaliktad from the last week for Aywan ko sa imo Inday, Rochelle. Okay. Pa-share naman po ang live stream natin para hindi naman tayo na lang tuwing Sabado, tayo na lang din eh. Lalo bang dagdagan nyo ng bagong mukha. Okay. Habang kakanta ako, I think I have to sing something that would pump us up. Tama ba ako? Am I correct? I feel like my table here is coming nearer and nearer to me. Or am I the one coming near to the table? Di ko alam. I don't know. Please type 1 if you hear me correctly. Wrong grammar again. Please type 1 if you hear me clear, not correctly. Where's my plectrum? My plectrum. You are my strength when I am weak. You are the treasure that I see. You are my only Lord. Seeking you was a precious jewel. Lord, to give up, I'd be a fool. You are my only Lord. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your So let's have some new song. Again, another song that we can render for today. I have missed talking to you in this kind of upright or high-pitched voice because recently when I was ill, I couldn't speak very well, and I really tried my very, very best to do my duty to my country. This is my desire to my heart worship you. All I have within me, I give you I adore is in you. Lord, I give you my heart, give you my soul. I'll live for you alone. Every breath that I take, every moment I'm with you. Lord, have your way with me. Yeah, Maria, when it comes to singing, sometimes it's not about the beautiful voice. Sometimes it's the way you carry the song. You can always practice to sing, and then just have a confidence to sing the song. I think that's the best way to do it. Because if you already think that because you don't have a voice and then you cannot sing, then you will probably lose your confidence. I think that's the best word that I could say today. Confidence. How do you even pronounce that? Confidence. Ay, 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 ay. All right. So, by the way, my friends, young Markelov is also live right now because I am on the cross. She should be with me today, but since she have somewhere else to go, so you know, I have to do it. I have to do it by myself. So right now we're gonna start with the story. From the last weeks we have already talked about Bemidbar or the numbers, and the whole book of Numbers is about the census of the Israel community. And it's very important to emphasize that when it comes to the community, we are counted as a whole if we once we are believers. So you cannot separate yourself from your other communities. So if you are a believer, you can find some place or some community where you belong. It's just like, let's say, a rock star. They always find somewhere where they belong, along with the musicians. Even though the rock star can be friends with a soul composite uh, singer, they are still a band. Hi, Mommy Josephine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mommy Josephine. I love you. Mwah, mwah, chup, chup. I don't have the sound today. Mwah, mwah, chup, chup. All right. So, when it comes to the word that I was talking about, I even forgot it. So I have to remind myself. I think I must have some. taper here. So by the way, when it comes to the things we were talking about, it's the leading of God also. But the book of Numbers requires, the counting and the census of every family and community, and the book of Numbers also describes what are the specific role of a priest, of a husband, and of a wife, and how they should deal with women who actually have done something against her marriage, right? And why does she have to be proven in the court, because there's a rabbinical court in within the Jewish system, and that is the thing that we don't have right now in the Christian community. But in the Jewish belief, there is always a rabbinical court, and they follow that guidance or that guidelines in according to the Bible, because the Bible requires 71 elders, and that is with the rabbinical sittings. Okay, so now from the book of Numbers from the last week, we have heard that Moses have heard the voice of God in the tent. He actually had a conversation with God in that tent. So I'm not gonna show you like the points that I usually show from the last weeks. So today it will just be a clear Bible study and just some facts about the Bible. Okay. So the great voice. There is an article I have read about Yitzhak Meir Kagan. It's um, it's a rabbi within literature, and they have also included some of the commentary of the great Rambam, or the great um, teachers and philosophers within the faith of biblical history. So let's just go back in the number 789. It says, "And when Moses came to the tent of meeting to speak with him, to God, then he heard the voice speaking with him from upon the golden lid," or it's called in Hebrew kaporet, which was on the ark of testimony, from between the two cherubim, and God spoke to him. So when we read this kind of text, we think literally that they have a conversation. Moses heard a voice, and God also hears the voice. They speak, and the communication is loud, right? Inside the meeting. So when Moses heard God's voice in the sanctuary, a miraculous phenomenon occurred. Although the divine voice was as loud as at Mount Sinai when all 2 million people heard it, so loud as to be audible far beyond the confines of the sanctuary, the sound was miraculously cut off at the entrance of the sanctuary and went no further. If we read the Bible verse in Numbers, you can clearly see that the voice of God was just inside the tent. It doesn't go out. It's just not, hindi siya kagaya ng pag ako sumigaw. If I listen, oh my God, Maria Marcel, don't don't do that. I wasn't even looking at the chat, and you guys are so awesome. Oh, you guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Maria. Team Happy, you are so cool. Thank you so much. You and the rest of the team. Thank you. And the team Konnichiwa, always team Konnichiwa. Mami Josephine, you are running back and forth to young Markelov, right? So anyway, let's get back. So, in the works of the philosophers, we find a significant explanation to why it was necessary for the voice of God to be cut off of the sanctuary entrance. It is God's desire that man serve him out of free choice. It's a free choice, okay? That's why the voice of God was chosen to be only heard within that circumference. It's just like in this live stream. You chose, you had the free choice to come in the live stream, and only you can hear what I'm saying. No one outside of the live stream can hear. They can pass by and see my thumbnail or that I am live, but they cannot hear what's my message all about. So, um, and God's voice, His call, message, and teaching be brought into the world by man's service. So it is the invitation. Once there's a message and a calling that God is giving, it is our free choice whether we're gonna follow the voice, we're gonna get into the sanctuary or not. It is our free choice, right? The voice of God is a revelation of God, a place which the Almighty sets aside as an established location for repeated revelations of godliness, a place where His voice is heard again and again, is a place possessing a higher order of sanctuary, such as place was the sanctuary, which was the name of tent of meeting, okay, because of God's presence was regularly encountered there. And so there's a place, and specific place where people meet. There's a specific tent where God comes down and have a conversation. And since in our time we don't have any sanctuary or temple, we have the body that we can feel our hearts with a communication with God. So it is a time given. Once you are inside the sanctuary, you cannot bring your cell phone, you cannot bring your computer, you cannot bring any distractions in your mind. And you just have to come there along with yourself clean, because there's a rule within the sanctuary that whenever you come inside, you have to clean yourself, you have to wash yourself. That is why within the Christianity we have the so-called baptism, because there's a washing. But within the Jewish system, there's what they called mikveh. And the mikveh in the temple, every time they get into the temple, they have to wash themselves. And it is very important to recognize the temple service, because once you are inside the temple, you cannot go backwards, but you have to present yourself. It's just like you have a visitor. You have a visitor, and but the difference here is that you are the visitor of God. You visited Him, and for some reason you are cold, and you have to have an open conversation. So if the voice and the speech of the Almighty had gone forth into the world repeatedly and regularly, then the world would have become one great tent of meeting. Imagine if the voice of God is heard all over the world, just like in the nick of time. I believe that if we hear the word of God, probably some of us would think that I didn't have chose to listen to this, and that would be an imposure of belief system. Then you have no choice but to listen. So that's the difference of believing in God. There's a free will, there's a chance, there's the opportunity, a long waiting in God's presence that you can be there, you know. So it's impossible, you know. Man's service of God, though free choice, would be impossible. It was God's desire, though we transform through our service, not through divine intervention. The divine intervention, though, requires that our presence, or in God's presence, while we are under circumstances, good or bad, there is the intervention. But the service that we have for God should not depend or rely on that intervention. The intervention of God will come itself as we are freely in service with Him. In an environment in which His voice is not heard, into a fitting dwelling place for His presence. You can never hear God's voice when you are in a place where you are so busy of other things in life. Okay, so shout out to you, cute Angie Vlog. Ayan eh. Ayun no, sumugod sila oh. Right. So now we're gonna jump into that Abraham's 10 tests. This is very interesting for me to learn, because I have been reading this for the past week, and I am so much interested in the test that Abraham had went through. They were kind of clear in the Bible. Malinaw sila sa Biblia kung ano yung 10 mga pagsubok na pinagdaanan ni Abraham. Ngunit kailangan nating malaman, kahit na nabasa natin ito sa Biblia, kailangan nating alamin ano nga ba yung mga bagay na iyon. So, iti-take up ko lang ang aking Bible. Tignan natin ha. Okay. Kasi pupuntahan natin ang mga footnotes natin. We have some footnotes. If you have checked the description box below, there's the footnotes of where we can find this in Genesis. Okay, we're gonna go to Genesis 1 to 5. Let me see. Okay, Genesis 12:1. Okay, it's in Genesis 12:1. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show you. Okay, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless you, and make thy name great, and you shall be a blessing. So from this text, there was the number one message, okay, that number one, God tells him to leave his homeland. How many of us, ilan po ba sa atin ang believer na ngayon? If once we are a believer, we always have the chances of leaving our family, di ba? Meron yung iiwanan natin ang ating bayan, iiwanan natin ang ating pamilya for the sake of being a stranger to another place. So number one na test sa kanya ay sinasabi ng Panginoon na iwanan mo ang iyong bansa at ikaw ay magiging estranghero sa bansa ng Kanaan. So ang message na nire-require dito ay willingness. Inuutusan siya ng Panginoon na iwanan mo ang iyong bansa, ang iyong pamilya. Bakit kailangan niyang iwan ang bansa niya? Pwede naman 'di ba doon na lang siya pagsilbihan niya ang Panginoon doon. But there is a story behind it. Meron po sa Biblia kasi hindi nakasaad dito kung ano yung dahilan. Bakit kailangan niyang iwan? Ang nakalagay po sa Talmud, meron po yung literature na doon nakalagay yung, dahil nga sinabi ko sa inyo, di ba may census. Ang Jewish community meron silang census at istorya ng bawat pamilya at bawat taong nasasangkot sa Biblia. For example, yung mga leaders, yung mga teachers, yung mga rabbis na yan, mayroon silang story or census. They have a census in their archives. They have the archives of which family were the leaders of this year. It's just like us in some churches. We know from that year who is the pastor, who is the preacher, who is the leader, who are the deacons. So it's the same within the census of Israel. They are still following that until today. So meron tayong relatable literature. So ang story behind that ay si Abraham, kung atin pong babasahin, ang kanyang storya ay ang kanyang ama na hindi po talaga siya believer. So Abraham grew up from a place Alright? Ito. He was 75 years old even when he departed out of Haran. Imagine, 75 years old na siya, di ba? Sa panahon natin ngayon. He was 75 when he left. In our time right now, pag ikaw ay 75, ikaw ay ugod-ugod na. Hindi ba? Ugod-ugod. So, ikaw ay ugod-ugod na pag ikaw ay 75. So, para sa atin, hindi natin hindi natin kayang iwan ng ating pamilya pag tayo ay ganong edad na, di ba? 75 years old. And then what was the promise that God promises? This is the wrong thing sometimes when we read the Bible, that we use just this kind of verse. I will make thee of a great nation. This refers only to Abraham. That Abraham, there's communication between him and God, that God had told him to get out of his country, get out of his family. So that is the meaning also of becoming a believer. When you become a believer, it doesn't mean that it fits all your family or all your surrounding or all your friends and playmates. Why do I include the playmates? Anyway, by way, it means as well that whenever you come to faith, you don't have to impose your faith on other people. You can teach and share your faith to other people, but not to impose them, because whenever you impose them, they will not listen to you and they will not believe you. Why? Because they know you. Literally, they know you. Diba? Real talk. They know you. Your family knows you. Your friends knows you. If kung ikaw ay kagaya ko na luka-luka from the beginning, na hindi pa naman to the end. Wala pang end ha. Wag muna kayo mag-assume ng ending. Basta from the beginning muna tayo. From the beginning to the middle. Ayun no? Ayun. So, right. So, from the beginning, if you are this kind of person who have different kind of characters, before you came to faith, your family knows you. So, there's no use of imposing your faith to them. That is why when the Lord had said to Abraham, get out of your country and your family, means as well that there's a specific role for him to do. There is a specific opportunity for him to follow, a specific path for him to walk on, even if he will be alone, because God didn't say there that get your brother with you or get your family with you. He said get out of your family and your country. So he's alone. He's very alone. So if you are a believer and you are the only person in your family who's a believer, you should rejoice, because there is a purpose that God is gonna use your life for now to become an instrument. First, He will train you, just like with Abraham. He was trained. He was taken out of the family, and then he was blessed. He was blessed with a great nation. What kind of nation? Look at the nation that he have now. Look at how many people refer to him as one of the great fathers of our faith, di ba? And so Abram departed. There was no question at all of asking, why do I have to leave my family? What am I gonna do and where am I gonna go? There was no question here in this portion in the chapter of 12. Lot went with him. Look, imagine, he was just called by God, but then suddenly his brother's son, Lot, went with him. And he was 75. So Lot is just like a son to Abraham. Now let's go to the second topic. All right. To the second topic, we have the footnote is, let's go to the 12:10. All right. And the 12:10 actually was this. Let me see. So I'm gonna show you one by one. Immediately after his arrival in the promised land, he encounters a famine. So that's the second test. It's already difficult psychologically if you think of this. It's already difficult for Abraham to leave his family. You know, imagine all your life you grew up and in a community where you are very comfortable. You have your everything in there. You know, you have a kind of luxurious life. Nandoon na lahat sa paligid mo. Doon ka lumaki sa lugar na yon. Nandoon ka sa family mo. You grew with your family, your siblings, your cousins, your parents, and it's very comfortable for you. And then suddenly, out of the blue, God will just tell you, alis ka dyan, get out of that place, get out of your family. What would you think? And what would you feel? Will there be some kind of worry? Will there be some kind of emotions of how you say, of unsurety, you know? I believe that you will feel some insecurity and worries at least. So what I can say is as well that when to he went to the promised land, he encounters a famine. You can see in 12:10. Okay, let's go to the 12:9 first, right? And Abram journeyed going on still toward the south. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. So imagine that Egypt had experienced this famine already. So it's normal for Egypt to experience this because why did I say that? Remember in the book of in this same book when Joseph was in Egypt, there was also a great famine of 7 years. 7 years of richness and 7 years of drought. Remember that? So this was the first recorded in the Bible that there was a famine in the land, and the famine was so grievous in the land. And it came to pass when he has come near into Egypt that he said unto Sarai his wife, behold now, I know that you are a fair woman to look upon. Imagine these troubles he had been facing. He left his family, he left his country. When he came to the place, there's still a famine, there's a tragedy, it's like a pandemic. There's a pandemic in that place. And then after that, there's also another uprising worry that his wife is so beautiful. She's a fair woman to look at. So there's still a trouble. The trouble is in their marriage. 'Di ba? Mag-asawa sila kasi maganda siya eh. Maganda si Sarah. So the number 3 is that the Egyptian seizes his beloved wife Sarah and bring her to Pharaoh. Because she is very beautiful, she upholds beauty, and it's very important for the Pharaoh to have her. And what did Abram do? Okay, let's continue. All right? But I will just read, babasahin ko kung ano yung sinabi ni Abraham. Okay? And it came to pass when he has come near to enter to Egypt that he said unto Sarah his wife, behold, now I know that you are fair. Okay, maybe let's go to Tagalog Bible. Let's go to Tagalog Bible for us to understand. Okay? It's very, very important, my friends. Okay, punta tayo sa Genesis 12. And first, I'll read in English now, okay? Therefore, it shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, you are my sister, that it will be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live of thee. Okay. Let's go again to Tagalog, Genesis 12:11. At nangyari nang siya'y malapit ng papasok sa Ehipto, ay sinabi niya kay Sarai sa kanyang asawa, narito ngayon, talastas kung ikaw ay magandang babae. At mangyari na pag makita ka ng mga Ehipsyo, ay kanilang sasabihin, ito nga ang kanyang asawa, at ako'y kanilang papatayin, natapwat kanilang ililigtas kang buhay. Isinasamo ko sa iyo na sabihin mong ikaw ay aking kapatid, upang ako'y mapabuti dahil sa iyo, at upang kaluluwa ko'y mabuhay dahil sa iyo. At nangyari nang pumasok si Abraham sa Ehipsyo, nakita ng mga Ehipsyo na ang babae ay napakaganda. At nakita siya ng mga prinsipe ni Faraon, at kanilang pinuri siya kanyang pinuri kay Faraon, at dinala ang babae sa bahay ni Faraon. Ayan, no? At pinagkapakitaan nito ng magandang loob si Abraham dahil sa kanya, at nagkaroon si Abraham ng mga tupa, ng mga baka, ng mga asno, mga aliping lalaki at mga alilang babae, at mga asna at mga kamelyo. Narinig nyo yun? Did you hear that? So if you have an English, I know that I have also some foreign friends listening in the background. So if you can just refer to Genesis 12 from 11 to the further, you can see from 12:11 to 16 how he had also suffered. There was a big story in there, just in that verse. Because in the beginning of the chapter, it was just told about that he have to leave his family, his country, and that there was a famine in Egypt. But it was not just the famine is the problem of Abraham. His next problem is his wife as well. Because, you know, pagpunta niya doon sa Egypt, ang mangyayari sa kanya, maaari siyang patayin dahil maganda ang kanyang asawa. Kaya gumawa siya ng kwento na sabihin mong magkapatid tayo, na ikaw ay kapatid ko, dahil kung hindi mamamatay ako, I will die. So please, I beg of thee. So ang nangyari, what was the result? The result was that Abraham was treated well from Pharaoh's side. Nabigyan siya ng tupa. He was given the sheep, all this kind of cattle to take care of. All right? So that is also become a blessing. It was wrong, he lied. You will see the consequences. The consequences you will read in further. That when the Lord, ito, from 12:18, 12:17, and the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abraham's wife. You see, the lies of Abraham also caused a destruction to other people. But it was because of Sarai. Bakit kay Sarai? Why was it Sarai involved? Because she agreed with the lie. So for example, if I lie, I told a lie to my husband, and he agreed with my lies. And he agreed with all the wrong things that I say. He himself he is in the middle between me and the person that we supposed to speak of, you know. So there should be like a margin in him. He should be the one who would stop the lie that was coming from me. But since if he agreed with this, he will also imply a tremendous problem over that person. So remember that. Tandaan nyo to, kapag ang isang tao ay nagsinungaling, kagaya ng ginawa ni Abraham, hindi lang ang sarili niya ang napapahamak, kundi yung tao na pagsisinungalingan, dahil yung tao na sa gitna na napagsabihan, imbis na pagsabihan niya yung tao na nagsisinungaling, at tinolerate niya yon, ang mangyayari ngayon, ang maapektuhan din ng maapektuhan ay yung tao na pinagsinungalingan. So, gano'n na nangyari. Si Pharaoh ay nagkaroon ng mga makabagbag damdamin na mga plague. So, kumbaga, ito yung pinakaunang plague na siguro na nai-record sa Biblia na naranasan ng Egyptians, di ba? Kasi meron yung plague na nangyari doon sa nung si Moses ang kanilang tagapamuno. At this time, it was Abraham, first forefather of our faith. Now, he said, "Why did you said she is my sister? So I might have taken her to me as a wife. Now, therefore, behold, thy wife, take her and go your way." Tingnan nyo? Na-discover din ang kasinungalingan. So, kaya naman hindi maganda para sa atin ang magsisinungaling. So, napaka-importante yun, ano? Nandiyan tayo sa number 3 na points. So, now let's go to number 4. And on number 4, you can even take notes of what I am saying here, mga kaibigan, friends. Okay. Number 4 is Abraham faces incredible odds in the battle of the 4 and 5 kings. So, saan natin yan mahahanap? We are in 12, 15, I think. No. 14. It was in 14. Let's go to 14. Okay, 14, right? So there were kings of, this was the 4 kings, Amraphel, Ariok, Chedorlaomer, and Tidal. 4 kings. And ito yung mga kings. This made war with Bera, okay? The kings, Birsha, Shinab, Shemeber, and king of Bela. Okay, so si Bera yun, 5 sila doon. So there were the 4 kings and then the 5 kings. All of this, altogether 9 kings, joined together in the valley of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea. Imagine that his problems never stop. If you think you have a problem, this man has bigger problem than you and I. Imagine, he just left his country, go to a place, suddenly they think it will be gonna be okay, and there was a famine. And then he think that the famine will go away, but then his wife is so beautiful, so I give you the song, manap ka ng pangit at ibigin mo tunay. Ayun, no? And now, Abraham faces incredible odds in the battle of the 4 and 5 kings. What kind of trouble? You see, when you become a believer, you will find yourself into tremendous trials. And if you are an unbeliever yet, you already have trials. And then you become a believer, you lose some of the trials, but you elevate. There's an elevation of trials. It's like the refining of your soul, of your nefesh. So there's a refining of nefesh, and that's very important to recognize, my friends, because now let's gonna read. And when Abraham heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants born in his house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. So nagkaroon din ng there was also a war. Okay? There was a war because they seized Lot. You see, when there was a war, they seized Lot. And then he have to take also his brother. Okay, so it's very, very important to recognize these trials of Abraham. All right. Now let's gonna get into the The fifth. What is the fifth? You think that the problem is already done? I tell you not. Now let's gonna be in the next topic, so you will understand. Now this is the next problem. He marries Hagar after not being able to have children with Sarah. What was the reason? Let's go to 16:3. All right. I remember I have to read the Tagalog version of the King James 14:14 in Genesis 14:14. Let me see. Genesis 14 in Tagalog. At pagkarinig ni Abram na nabihag ang kanyang kapatid ay ipinagsama ang kanyang mga subok na lalaki na mga ipinanganak sa kanyang bahay na 318 at kanilang hinabol sila hanggang sa Dan. O, di ba? Kasi ito nga yung nakuha ang kanyang pamangkin na si Lot. Tapos nakuha din ang kanyang kapatid. Doon sa pagitan ng paglalaban ng mga siyam na hari, na the kings, they were 9 kings, and they are having war between each other, and then suddenly they come together just to fight with him. So he had an incredible odds, and then suddenly he marries Hagar. What was the reason why he have to marry Hagar? Maybe let's just jump into Genesis 16. Okay. Let's go to 16:3 and we will read, Now Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian whose name was Hagar. Remember that Sarah, or Sarai in first Hebrew name, she was told to bear a children at her age. Sabi ng God said that you will bear a child. Sabi ng Panginoon sa kanya na magkakaroon ka ng anak. Pero ano ang ginawa ni Sarai? She just laughed. She laughed because it's unimaginable. It's impossible for her to bear a child at her old age. That's out of her perspective. I'm old. Why would I gonna bear a child in this old age? Sabi niya, di ba? Paano ako magkakanak? Ang tanda-tanda ko na. Now, mayroong solusyon si Sarai. Sarai, si Sarai nga, na asawa ni Abraham, hindi nagkaanak sa kanya at siya may alilang babae na taga-Ehipto na nagngangalang Agar. At sinabi ni Sarai kay Abram, narito ngayon, ako'y hinadlangan ng Panginoon na ako'y magkaanak. Ipinamamanhik ko sa iyong sumiping ka sa aking alilang babae. Marahil ay magkakaanak ako sa pamamagitan niya. At dininig ni Abram ang sabi ni Sarai. O, tignan nyo. So kapag ang asawa, may solusyon din minsan. Dito mo makikita na si Abraham ay masunurin siyang asawa, masunurin siyang anak ng Panginoon. And Sarai said unto Abram, Behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go into my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband, Abram, to be his wife. At kinuha ni Sarai na asawa ni Abram si Agar na taga-Ehipsyo na kanilang alila pagkaraan ng 10 taon na makatahan si Abram sa lupain ng Kanaan, at ibinigay kay Abram ang kanyang asawa upang maging asawa niya. At siya'y sumiping kay Agar at naglihi. At nang makita niyang siya'y naglihi, ay niwalang halaga niya ang kanyang Panginoong babae sa kanyang paningin. So what is the result again? Nung una, 'di ba, si Abraham yung may problema. In the beginning, Abraham had the fear. He had the so you know that Abraham, it's normal in his human nature that he feared to die. He feared to die because they just came into the new land. They had not even, it was a famine, and then they just have to gather food in Egypt, and then suddenly his wife is beautiful, so his life is in danger. And now comes a new complex, superiority complex, or some inferiority complex in the character of Sarai, where she has the fear of not having a child. Remember this, women. There must be a character within you that you fear. Meron tayong karakter na mga babae. There's something in our lives as women that we are afraid of something because we can't have it, or we don't have it, or we don't know even how to have it. And this is the character of Sarai. She's a prominent woman. She know well the word of God. She know well. But the problem is she can't bear. So she have a character, she have, how do you say this? She have a problem with herself that she cannot bear a child. So she find a solution for her husband. That solution is that her husband would make her maid. And the result is that when Hagar had bore a children for Abraham, what happened? She became she forgot that she is under her master. She forgot that the power is under. It's just like a concubine. She felt like she's racing with the level of the first wife. So yun yung naging problema ngayon. Ang resulta ng ginawa nilang kalokohan, kasi there was also an approval in the side of Abraham. If we think about it, to commit something wrong, it must take two, 'di ba? Kailangan ng dalawang tao. Alright? You need two person to commit a sin. Because if you say something wrong to other people, or if you say something, you ask something from them, there will be no execution of that request without the person agreeing with you. So it needs two person to agree on both ends, right? So that's what happened to Sarah. And Sarah became so angry. She became haste on herself because the maid is not pleasing into her eyes anymore. She said like this in 16:5, and Sarah said to Abraham, "My wrong be upon you. I have given my maid unto your bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her heart, in her eyes. The Lord judged between me and you." After she had found out the solution, and now she's getting back the result. Now she's returning the blame to her husband. Okay? So, remember, women, sinabi ni Sarai kay Abraham, "Ang aking pagkaapi ay sumaiyo, idinulot ko ang aking alila sa iyong sinapupunan, at nang makita niyang siya'y naglihi. Niwalan akong kabuluhan sa kanyang paningin, ang Panginoon ang humatol sa akin at sa iyo." 'Di ba? Yung kasalanan ni Sarai, ibinawi niya lang kay binalik niya kay Abraham. Sumunod lang naman sa kanya si Abraham, hindi ba? Ayan. Datapwat sinabi ni Abraham kay Sarai, "Narito ang iyong alila ay nasa iyong kamay. Gawin mo sa kanya ang iyong minamagaling sa iyong paningin." At dinuwahagi siya ni Sarai, at si Agar ay tumakas mula sa kanyang harap. At dahil sabi ni Abraham, ikaw ang may gawa nito. Di bahala ka dyan kung ano yung gusto mong gawin. So what did she do? What did Abraham said unto Sarai, behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleases you. So Sarah dealt hardly with her. She fled. So Hagar fled. She took her child with her. So this is the characteristics of our human nature. Imagine what kind of life we have now, right? Most of the women that bear children from men who are already married, whenever they are caught on something, or whenever, imagine that the mistresses nowadays, actually they are not called mistress, because the term mistress is actually the original wife in the in the in English, let's say the concubines, okay? Let's say those women who bore child from a married man. Once they had bore a children, they had the pride and say that, look, I gave birth, and well, look at you, you don't give birth. It's just the same with Sarai, and between Sarai and Hagar. That was the character of Hagar after she gave birth. That's why Sarah had dealt with her harshly, very, very harshly. And then that's the reason why she escaped and took with her her son. She took with her Ishmael. So remember that those women who gave birth out of marriage or from marriage of others, they usually they usually give they usually give birth and then escape from the situations. It's very important that we have to recognize this kind of situations so that we will not make this mistake, right? So shout out din sa iyo dyan, Ryan Jobus, Apple G, Mama Zell, B Page, Happy Abby TV, and Spread Love Channel, Security ni Oliver 31 channel, and to Sasha from Russian friend. All right. So it's very important for us to recognize these things. Okay. So now let's gonna go to number 6. God tells him to circumcise himself at an advanced age. You see, there's a lot of thing going on in this chapter. Just this chapter, imagine. There's a tremendous story if you read. Number 6, God tells him to circumcise himself at an advanced age. It's difficult. Now let's go to 17:24. Ang utos ng Panginoon diyan kay Abraham ay magpatuli siya. Ang tanda-tanda na niya, di ba? Tanda-tanda na eh. Now let's go. And Abraham, listen to this. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. 17:24 po sa Tagalog. 17:24, at si Abraham ay may 99 na taon nang tuliin ang laman ng kanyang balat. At si Ismael ay 13 taon nang tuliin. Siya din, si Ismael ay natuli din, 13. So, they are already kind of old when they had circumcised themselves. Ishmael was 13, 13 years old, and Abraham was 99 years old. So he was 75 when he left Haran, and then married to Sarah, and then 99 when he got circumcised. So, it's not too late, my friends. So the circumcision was like a covenant between him and God. that there must be a circumcision. And then the king of Gerar. This is again another problem. Sarah is already old, but then, let me see. The footnotes that I'm going to show is in 22. 20. Okay, Genesis 20. Okay. Now let's get back. If you think that the trouble was done, there's again another problem with Sarah, because even if she's old, she's still captured. Okay? Tignan niyo, gusto pa siyang asawahin, no? Matanda na nga siya, di ba? Now, let's get back to Genesis 20 and 2. And Abraham said of Sarah, his wife, she is my sister, and Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur and sojourned in Gerar. Okay? Sa Tagalog, at mula roon ay naglakbay si Abraham sa dakong lupain ng timugan at tumahan sa pagitan ng Kadesh at Shur at siya'y nakipamayan sa Gerar. At sinabi ni Abraham tungkol kay Sarah na kanyang asawa, siya'y aking kapatid, at si Abimelech na hari sa Gerar ay nagsugo at kinuha si Sarah. Second trouble of Abraham again. When it comes to his wife, he have fear of dying. But look what God did to him. God knows that we are afraid of dying sometimes. God knows that this fear can never get away from us. This fear of death is in our nature as human. So it's normal most of the time, but just look at the character of Abraham. He was afraid to die because he say again for the second time to the king of Gerar, the king Abimelech, she's my sister. So what did God do? God came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, behold, you are but a dead man, for the woman you have taken, she is a man's wife. Huh? And Abimelech reasoned, did he not tell me that she is my sister? And she herself said, he is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. Look that. So, the lies was again approved by Sarah to save themselves, to save their skin. And then, because king of Abimelech did not touch her yet, but also reasoned with God and say that I have a good integrity, I did not touch her. And God said, okay, I understand that you did this in integrity of your heart. That's why I withhold you from sinning against me. You see there? So most of the time, whenever we sinned, bago tayo magkasala, there is an occurrence. There is an occurrence before we commit a sin. There is a warning before we do it. Doesn't it? You could think, for example, that whenever you find yourself, this is just a real talk. I was thinking about my old ways, nung bata, no, medyo, nung dalaga pa ako. When a man had lied to me, sometimes I do not know whenever they are married or not, and if they say that they weren't married, I mostly fall into that word. And then imagine that because I committed some of these things, I also affect the wife without her knowing it. Hindi niya alam na may naapektuhan na siya sa mga bagay na ginagawa ko at ng asawa niya, di ba? So it's just the same in this thing. Now, because this man is innocent, King Abimelech is innocent and didn't know the truth about Abraham and Sarai's true relationship. God had withheld him. You see, ang Diyos ay magbibigay talaga ng lakas sa iyo para hindi ka magkasala. Depende na lang talaga yun sa iyo kung ikaw ay mayroong disiplina sa katawan, sa pag-iisip, at sa sarili. So, it's also a sense of action in your hands. Okay? So, you must have the action that whenever there's a sin that comes to you, if you are a married person and there is someone who's trying to seduce you, it's up to you. You will have the conscience and you will have a warning in your own soul that says this is wrong. Something is wrong in here. I should not do this. There's already a warning. So it's up to you if you're gonna go to that or not. And it's very important to emphasize that. Okay? It's very, very important to recognize. Let me see again. Let me see. Okay. Right. So just gonna, so by the way guys, please do not forget to connect with Maria Marcel and Josephine Gimoro. Their name in YouTube is scrolling right below. Maria Marcel from Team Happy and Josephine Gimoro is our beloved nanay, our beloved mother here. So now let's get back to the topic, the king of Gerar captures Sarah. So now let's go to the number 8. Number 8 is God tells him to send Hagar away after having a child. Okay? So these are the 10 tests of Abraham. Okay. Now let's go to the footnote. 21:12. Let's go to 21:12. Okay, in Tagalog, 21:12. Okay. Where am I? There. All right. Now listen to this word. Let's read 21:11 first. Or maybe let's get back to 10. I'm gonna read the Tagalog first. Kaya't sinabi niya kay Abraham, palayasin mo ang aliping ito at ang kanyang anak sapagkat hindi magmamana ang anak ng aliping ito nakahati ng aking anak sa makatwid bagay ni Isaac. At ang bagay na ito ay naging lubhang mabigat sa paningin ni Abraham dahil sa kanyang anak. At sinabi ng Diyos kay Abraham, huwag mong mabigatin ito sa iyong paningin dahil sa iyong alipin. Sa lahat na sasabihin sa iyo ni Sarah ay makinig ka sa kanyang tinig sapagkat kay Isaac tatawagin ang iyong lahi. So there's already a promise from the connection, all right? So in 21:12 in English, let's get back to it. Let's get back to 21:12. Okay, now we're gonna read again from 21:10. Wherefore she said unto Abram, cast out this bondwoman and her son. For the son of this bondwoman shall not be higher with my son, even with Isaac. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lady, and because of thy bondwoman. Lad boy. Okay, sorry. In all that Sarah had said unto you, hear unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So in connection to the calling of number 1, the number 1's calling was, God tells him to leave his homeland to be a stranger in the land of Canaan. Okay? So it says here that the connection is here. God tells him to leave his homeland, to be a stranger in Canaan. Okay. Now God tells him to send Hagar away after having a child with her. But because there was a connection that God had promises already that Abraham will bear a child, and among this child, and in this, I mean, upon this child, there will become a great nation, that God will bless him a great nation. It was not through the solution of Sarai, through Ishmael. Okay, so it doesn't mean that Ishmael is not a uh, blessed tribe. He was also blessed, but the promise was not upon him. It's just like if you have two children and you have set one of them a specific gift, you cannot give that gift to the other because the other is well pleasing into your eyes. You have to give that specific gift destined to that child because that is what you promised, right? So that's very, very important to recognize. And what did God say after this? Because Sarah, when she bore a child, she said that you send this woman away because she will not divide she will not become a hire with my son. Her son will not divide the property with my son, so hindi siya pwedeng magmana sa mamanahin ni Isaac. Isa lang ang may pangako ditong mamanahin, so kailangan paalisin mo siya. And because Ishmael is his son, it's very, very grieving for him to send them away because he loved his son, despite the truth or the fact that Hagar is a maid servant of Sarai. It became his wife as well, a second concubine to him, a second wife to him. So he also loved her and even the child more, right? So from that sense, God also tell him, do not be grievous in the sight of the boy. So God want Abraham to show a fatherhood countenance, that he should not show this grievous face. You should show a little bit of strong character, not of pushing away the boy, but to send them away for the cause of the promise. And God said that you have to listen to your wife. In everything that she said, you listen to his wife. But this word, ang sabi dito ay makinig ka sa sinasabi ng iyong asawang si Sarai sa lahat, di ba? Pero ang bagay nito, this thing is just according to that circumstances. Okay? It doesn't mean that he had to listen to her of the past. Remember the word past happening. There were things that happened in the past that Abraham listened to his wife, and it caused them trouble both. The both of them experienced tremendous trouble, and it's very, very important to recognize that at a certain point of our lives, if you are married or you have if you are married or you are, I mean, just for a married, okay? Because this topic about Abraham is about his life as a believer, his marriage, his being a father, and being a role model into the community. If you are married, it's good also to listen to your partner. On some circumstances, it takes two to decide, as I say, and you have to have this kind of clear mindset. And now let's gonna go to number 9. Okay, number 9 is his son Ishmael become estranged. Okay, 22. Let's go to 22. Let me see. Okay, let's go to 22 and 2. I think it's still the same in 21:12. Okay. Let's go back to 21:12 in the 9th test. We will stay from the same chapter. Okay. His son Ishmael become estranged. In 21:14 we will read, and Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. But she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. So this also had suffered Hagar because of the decisions of Sarah. Okay. In 21, where was I? In 21:14 sa Tagalog, 21:14. At nagbangong umaaga sa kinaumagahan si Abraham at kumuha ng tinapay at ng isang bangang balat ng tubig at ibinigay kay Agar na ipinatong sa kanyang balikat at ang bata. At siya ay pinagpaalam at naggala sa ilang ng Beersheba. Yan. So, dito nyo makikita na mayroon ding consequences o mayroong tinatawag dito sa consequences. Mayroong resulta kapag tayo ay gumawa ng pagkakasala. And because Hagar is the result as well of Sarah's solution to bear a child. Now, they have to send her away. And Sarah has to suffer, and Hagar, has to suffer that. So, Hagar was sent away. Sending her away is also not to make her feel bad, no? But it also to fulfill the destiny of her child. There's a destiny of her child because Ishmael is also blessed, as I have told you. It's not because he is a son outside of Sarah. He still became a son of Sarah through Hagar. But the thing is, the promise is not given to Ishmael. Even if Ishmael was the firstborn son in the bosom of Abraham, still the promise goes to the first son of the legal wife. Okay, the legal wife is Isaac. So now remember that there are true children. There are true and legitimate children when it comes to bloodlines. And when that while they were in the wilderness, when Hagar was away, she was very depressed. If you look in 21:16, she went and sat her down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said, "Let me not see the death of the child." And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept. Imagine the life that she and her son had, that experience in the desert, where she have to look far from her son. She even have to put away her son because of the tremendous difficulties they experience in the desert. And he's dying. Isipin niyo yung position nilang dalawa, di ba? Dahil nga sila pinalayas. So kailangan niyang tignan sa malayo ang kanyang anak. Kailangan niyang talikuran dahil ayaw niyang makita na mamamatay ang kanyang anak. Ayaw niyang ma-experience yung sakit na dinaramdam niya na dahil nandoon na nga sila sa sitwasyon na pinalayas sila. Pero hindi siya makaintindi. Hindi niya maunawaan. She did not understand the meaning why she have to suffer that. And let's read again. At idinilat ng Diyos ang kanyang mata at siya'y nakakita ng isang balon ng tubig. Sa uhaw, akala niya mamamatay ang kanyang anak. Ang Diyos ay sumabata at siya'y lumaki at tumahan sa ilang at naging namamana. At nanahan siya sa ilang ng paran. Ayan. So ngayon bumaba na si Hagar. And God, arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation. See that promise? The promise is upon the life of Ishmael, that he will become also a great nation. So remember the beginning of the promise in Genesis 12:1. I will read it to you. Genesis 12:1. The promise it was, I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will aggrandize your name, and you shall be a blessing. There were blessings. Great nation, he will be blessed, and his name will be known, and then he will become a great blessing. So there's already a nation. He will be blessed, his name will be known, and then after that he will still become a blessing. So he will become an instrument. So when you say that I will become a blessing, you will also become an instrument of good, right? So that's very important to emphasize, my friends. So now, when they continued in 21:20, and God was with the boy, and he grew and dwelt in wilderness and became an archer. So Ishmael became an archer, a good archer, because God is also with him. So when we hear a preaching of other people that says that Ishmael is just a blessed child, or he's just a put away child, or if we think of the children that were born out of marriage were unblessed or miscarriage children, that is wrong, because God blesses them in a certain way. I admit my parents didn't marry, right? My father was married to his first wife, but she died. Married to another, and she's gone. So let's say that I was born into their bosom out of marriage. There is no such word in the Bible that says that a child is accursed. There was no children that is accursed. There were children that are legitimate to be promised of something. And then the children out of marriage is also blessed. All right? So remember, in Genesis 21, if we read this whole chapter, go into the description box below and take note of the Bible verses and read them yourselves, right? But for now, I'll read them together with you. And God was with the lad, and God was with the boy, right? And he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt. Right? Yeah. So now we could recognize that there was a blessing there. Right? Now let's go to the last. God tells him to sacrifice his dear son. So there was a message here. Okay. God tells him to sacrifice his dear son. Okay. Now I think I have missed something. Did I? All right. I thank you so much, Ryan Jobu's channel, for sharing this, message. Thank you so much, Sasha from Russia, and JP Para Sports for your presence here in this channel. And now let's gonna go to the last. To the last is we have 15. Let's see. Genesis 15. Is it 15? I know that there was a sacrifice that's going on here. Okay, now we're gonna have to find that chapter. Abraham sacrificed Isaac in 22 as well. In Genesis 22, we're gonna go to 22. Okay, let's go to 22, right? Let's see. All right, in 22 first, 22 verse 1, the 10th test was that God tells him to sacrifice his only one son Isaac upon the altar. And it says, and it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, he said, behold, here I am. And he said, take now thy son, thine only son, whom you love, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell you of. Okay, so, and Abraham rose up early in the morning. There was no question asked. Then on the third day, Abraham lifted his eyes in the place afar off. And Abraham said up to his young man, abide ye here with us, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. Right? In 22, at nangyari pagkatapos ng mga bagay nito ay sinubok ng Diyos si Abraham. So sa salitang ito, ang Diyos ay nanunubok. Hindi niya tayo sinusubok sa mga partikular na bagay na pagdaraanan natin. For example, hindi niya tayo sinusubok ng dahil lang sa nawalan tayo ng kaibigan. No, God does not. I think it's one of the things. But when it comes to material things, God does not test us when it comes to the material things, because those are the things that we lust, yung mga material na bagay. But God tests us through the people that we dearly loved. Okay, so for at times we will maybe lose some of our friends, our family, and we have to sacrifice them. Are we ready to do that? Are we ready to sacrifice our family or our beloved ones, something that we love? Because the word says here, take now your only son, whom you love. Diba? Everything that you love and everything that is only for you very important, those were the things that are tremendous thing that God can use to tempt you. And it's very important to stress out in here that we still have to obey God. So what happened there? And you know, when he offers his son Isaac without questions, imagine what is the boy thinking. You know, he even asked, where is the offering? There was no conversation here about the child asking. Yeah, there was in 22:7, Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, my father, here I am. And where's the fire and the wood? Where is the lamp for the burnt offering? Where is the lamp? He was asking. Yung anak niya nagtatanong, bakit nasaan yung apo? O nasaan na yung kambing? Asan yung kambing or yung tupa? Asan yung tupa na i-offer natin? Bakit wala? And Abraham said, "My son, God will provide himself a lamb." So, ang karakter ni Abraham dito ay meron siyang pananampalataya na kahit na alam niya na ang anak niya ay kailangan niyang ilagay doon sa critical na kondisyon. Alam niya na kahit na mahal niya ang anak niya na yon, maaaring iniisip niya na ibinigay ito ng Panginoon sa aking katandaan. So bakit hindi ko siya pababayaang magdesisyon? So mayroon siyang pananampalataya sa Diyos. There was a sense of trust in Abraham's character that he said, "My son, God will provide himself a lamb." He did not argue with his son. He did not say anything else, but he knows from the deepest of his heart that this child was given to me in my old age. So why would I say something against? And he just obeyed God and just went there. And then the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, "Abraham, Abraham, lay not your hand upon your son, neither you do anything unto him, for now I know that you fear God." So when God tests you to lose the very important things in your life, the very important people in your life, the one that you dearly, dearly love, from most of all, the persons that are dear to your heart, you will know that from there God will understand and see that you fear him. So I just hope that you have learned something from this, and I'm gonna wrap it up again from number 1 to 10. So the 10 tests were: God tells him to leave his homeland, to be a stranger in the land of Canaan. Immediately after his arrival in the promised land, he encounters a famine. The Egyptian sees his beloved wife Sarah and bring her to Pharaoh. Abraham faces incredible odds in the battle of the 4 and 5 kings. And he marries Hagar after not being able to have children with Sarah. God tells him to circumcise himself at an advanced age. The king of Gerar captures Sarah, intending to take her for himself. And then God tells him to send Hagar away after having a child with her. His son Ishmael became estranged and still became a great nation. And God tells him to sacrifice his dear son Isaac upon an altar. So this also reflects in our life that all the troubles or all the tests that we have in life will never end. They will continually come until we grow old. They are the continuation of our development in spirit. So it's very important to recognize that the more you are tested, the more you are refined. You are refined into the legitimacy of being a child of God. So, right. So thank you so much, everyone, for your goodness and kindness. Now I'm gonna pray. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, King of the universe, who gave us the Torah of truth, Yeshua, our Messiah, and set everlasting life in our midst. Blessed are you, O Lord, giver of the Torah. Right. So as you can see from this, there's the beginning of the prayer before we have read the Bible, and the second is for after the Torah study. So right, so thank you so much, everyone. Now we're just gonna have to give you this message. Every voice making joyous noise. Oh, let's play. Oh, you're gonna be hard. Come together now. Yeah. Everybody. Every voice. Oh, gonna feel the pain. Come on. Oh, let's play. So, right. So, by the way, before I forgot, please join me tomorrow. All right. I have a live stream tomorrow, and it will be, I have a visitor to interview tomorrow, and I want you to be there with me. So, I just hope that you will join me. I hope that you will come, and I'll show you the name of the person that I will interview tomorrow, okay? So tomorrow, this is the person that I will interview tomorrow, okay? June 7 in Florida, it will be 9 o'clock in the morning. And in Philippine time, it is 9 p.m. Okay, it's a little bit late, but I hope that you still have the time. And in Sweden, the UTC time, Universal Time Standard is 3 p.m. So here in Sweden, it will be 3 o'clock. And young Markelov will be maybe with me tomorrow to interview Nadine Valentine. Nadine Valentine is a gospel singer artist. She is her music is already in the music industry, and she is a Jamaican living in the USA. So I want to invite you in regarding to this live stream tomorrow, and we will see what kind of life we will discover with her tomorrow. So I hope that you will join me. All right. So now I'm overexposed. So maybe that's right. All right. So now thank you so much for your right, so I'm gonna share you and again another song from Nadine Valentine. And Nadine Valentine's tomorrow. This is her song. Okay, I will share you. So let me see. I don't know if I can. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna share you. Maybe I have to remove this. Oh no. I'm trying to share you a website, but the problem is I don't know if this allows me, but maybe I can share you the music from behind. All right, so now you have heard the song. Okay, isn't that very, very wonderful music? I just try to distort it. But now you have heard the song of Nadine Valentine. Ayan, yung kanyang kanta yun, ano? Si Nadine Valentine. So, thank you so much everyone, saints and artisans for being here. I pray that everything will go well with you and God bless you and I hope to see you again. Bye.